I still remember like it was yesterday. Newspaper headlines were all about Kawhi. Everything anyone could talk about was Kawhi. And heck, there were even helicopters flying around looking for Kawhi. He was fresh off a championship and was looking to relocate to LA to be closer to home, and after months of keeping the NBA world on edge, he finally signed with the Los Angeles Clippers. Then, to top things off and add an exclamation mark, he made a commercial letting LeBron and the Lakers know that there was a new sheriff in town. It was Kawhi's time, LA was his, and the Clippers were about to rise out of the Lakers' basement and into the limelight. Well, that was 4 years ago. Since then, you know what has happened? Absolutely nothing. No Larry O'Brien trophies, no rings, no finals appearances, and heck, the one time they even got to a Western Conference Finals, he wasn't there. Ladies and gentlemen, Kawhi Leonard fooled us all. If you've ever watched Kawhi Leonard play, it's clear that he passes the eye test. His ability to get to his spot on the floor and make mid-range jumpers is lethal and has been compared to the likes of Michael Jordan himself. In addition, he could shoot the three ball, he could play above the rim, and he could play defense. Then when it comes to the numbers test, he passes that as well, with flying colors. I mean, year after year after year, he was always just a hair shy of reaching the illustrious 50-40-90 club. Then when the playoffs arrive, he brings things to a whole nother level. For example, just look at the 2 games he played in during the 2023 playoffs. 34.5 points on 6.5 rebounds and 6 assists on shooting splits of 55% from the field, 60% from 3, and 88% at the free throw line? Sheesh, guys. You know, after watching the NBA closely for about 2 decades, I can tell you one thing for sure. Those are some insane numbers. There's no doubt about it. I don't care what anyone says, Kawhi Leonard is a superstar. The thing is, however, and where he's been fooling everyone, is the fact that he's also the worst superstar, if there ever was such a thing. If you're not sure what I mean, let me show you the facts and explain. In the 4 years that he's been in LA, he literally has not produced anything but disappointment. I mean, like I said earlier, there are no Clippers championship banners hanging anywhere. There are no finals appearances by the team. He had an opportunity to lead the Clippers into the Western Conference Finals in the Orlando bubble, but choked away a 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets. Then, the one time that the Clippers did manage to reach the Western Conference Finals, Kawhi didn't even play a second in that series. So, up until now, if that's all he did, we'd probably let it slide, just like how we let Damian Lillard's lack of postseason success slide. But the thing is, and what differentiates Kawhi Leonard from every other superstar, is the fact that he's got a king's ransom. Here's what I mean. He was the only one who orchestrated the Paul George trade to the Clippers, which included trading away a young Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and 5 first-round picks. Then, in addition to getting the max contract, he asked for his own personal security guards and trainers, power over the team's practice and travel schedule, ability to live where he chooses, which often made him late for team flights, choosing when to speak with the media, but worst of all, picking and choosing when he would play games. This is absolutely unheard of. I mean, think about it. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, ain't none of these superstars ever came close to what Kawhi demanded from his organization. And the crazy thing is, Kawhi was demanding these things before he even played for the team. Then, to make things even worse, he's barely played for the team. Since joining the Clippers back in the 2020 season, there have been a total of 308 regular season games. And guess how many Kawhi has played in? Go ahead, guess. 161. He's played in 52%, which is about half of the total games. I don't know about y'all, but it seems to me that Kawhi really exploited the fact that he won 2 championships with 2 great organizations. I know he was the finals MVP for both teams, but in 2014, he played alongside 3 Hall of Famers. Then in 2019, not only did he get lucky that Durant and Klay got injured, but he was lucky to join an organization that was knocking on the door of the finals for years. Anyway, I want to bring this conversation to where we are today. So, as we all know, Kawhi took the entire 2022 season off. He was recovering and rehabbing from an injury from the year prior. Then, for 2023, he load managed for a third of the season. This is after taking a complete year off. Then comes the 2023 playoffs. So, after being absolutely brilliant in Game 1 against Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns and grabbing the win, he followed it up with another brilliant performance in Game 2. But unfortunately, the Suns won that game. Then came Game 3. I'm sure millions of NBA fans around the world stood by their television waiting for the epic Game 3 showdown, waiting for the Clippers to take control of the series at home. But then, Kawhi Leonard showed up in street clothes. It was Kawhi's time to shine. Kawhi's time to take over the series. Kawhi's time to make up for the past 4 years. And he showed up in street clothes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is about as anticlimactic as you can get when it comes to sports. I ain't saying that he's not injured or anything, but as a fan of the sport, it doesn't look good that a player who load manages for a third of the season ends up with a phantom injury that no one could see except for himself. I mean, this goes back to his San Antonio days, where he sat out for extensive periods of time where the Spurs medical staff looked at everything and gave him the green light to play, but he still didn't play. And that went on for pretty much the entire 2018 season, which led to the fallout between him and one of the greatest dynasties in the NBA. It was a phantom injury, and that's exactly what's happening again. A phantom injury. Now, again, I ain't saying that the injury isn't real or anything, and honestly, I don't think he's faking it. But dang it, guys. At the same time, Hill literally just played 39 minutes in Game 2 and flirted with a 31-point triple-double. Then after the loss, everything looked good. I mean, he didn't walk with a limp, he didn't say anything about any injuries in the post-game interview, no nothing. It was literally radio silence until Game 3, where he showed up in street clothes. I think at the very least he could clear things up with the media, but the fact that he doesn't just makes the whole narrative a nightmare for him. Well, anyway, regardless of what happens now, the Clippers are done. And I really feel bad for Westbrook. After getting thrown under the bus by the Lakers, he's come out looking like West Beast and has been playing some of the best playoff basketball I've ever seen from him. Sadly, by the time this video gets released, they would already have been knocked out by the Phoenix Suns in the first round. And you know what that means, right? The Clippers' curse continues, despite having the richest NBA owner in league history. Anyway, at this point, the all-important question is, what's next for Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers? I mean, he had a good supporting cast, which included Paul George, the 2017 MVP Russell Westbrook, and arguably the deepest bench in the league. He also had one of the best coaches in Ty Lue. Kawhi pretty much had every opportunity to wreak havoc in the NBA for 4 years, but came up empty. Where does he honestly go from here, guys? Well, as of today, both him and George, and pretty much the whole team is signed for the next year, so breaking it up would be really rough. You can't really trade Kawhi either. I mean, the market doesn't look good for a load-managing superstar who always seems to get injured by things that doctors can't see. So, if I were a betting man, I'd say more or less the same thing will happen next season. A bunch of load management and a bunch of disappointment. The Clippers are going to load manage, look great in the regular season, then come the playoffs, something's going to happen, and for one reason or another, they're going to fall apart. It's going to be there and then that the Kawhi Leonard Clippers saga probably ends. I don't see Steve Ballmer re-signing Kawhi to another long-term contract with the way things have played out over the last 4 years. I mean, Ballmer pretty much got no return on his investment. It's unfortunate, but what was once promised to be the golden era for the Los Angeles Clippers is going to fade away before anything really happened. Years from now, Clippers fans are going to look back at that commercial that Kawhi made and they're going to say, he really did fool us all.